Greaves.
I
DIONNE.
don't see it. Where is she?
She's in the back, somewhere in the back waiting room. She says she's here.
Well, hi everybody. We're live. We got one more coming in. Let's see. Where are you, Diane? I didn't see you pop up just yet.
There she
And here.
You there? I don't know why for some reason I don't. Oh, there you are. Okay, let me.
Yes, I am.
Oh, here. Let me switch it. Okay, is that everybody? I got everybody. Okay, can everybody hear me still?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I think I got everybody. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome, ladies, and welcome everyone out there in Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn land and YouTube land. Welcome to the 8 Queens Round Table Leadership Symposium. I am your host, Jacqueline Kaba-Harrison, and we are at this in January, May, and September. I bring to you a phenomenal set of women that will help you uplift yourself personally, professionally, to be able to scale your business the way that you want to. So, this particular symposium is titled Born to Lead, Awakening the Leader Within. And it's actually in conjunction with a collaborative book project that I have that's going to launch next month, June 19th, which is Juneteenth. And the reason I chose that date is because the whole purpose of this symposium is to acknowledge the innate leadership abilities within African American women. So yes, we're going to be talking to you today. I have as you can see, all the individuals that are on the screen with me are all powerhouses, are all girl bosses, and are basically rocking it out in their respective niches. And you're going to have an opportunity to hear from all of us today in reference to questions around leadership. What is leader? What is a leader? What sort of characteristics does a leader have, right? And we're also going to hear about when the individuals begin to see themselves as a leader. We're also going to talk about some of the different challenges that they themselves or just African American in general have experienced, some of the different challenges that we have experienced over the years in leadership. And we're going to leave on a very positive note, because the hope is that when you hear from us, you hear our stories, that you will awaken the leader inside of yourself, right? And know that it is possible, and to keep shining and walk in your purpose and walk in your greatness. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So first we are going to hear from, I'm just debating, I'm trying to think. Okay, I think the order we're going to go in is the order that everybody is on the screen to me. So we're going to do JUANA first, and then we're going to do Dr. Karen. Then we're going to do GLENDORA. So JUANA, Karen, Dr. Karen, GLENDORA, Karen. Then we're going to hear from Precious, and then we'll go to DIONNE. All right? Okay, now hopefully y'all remember that, because listen, I'm middle-aged now, so my memory sometimes go in and out. So work with me, okay? All right, so JUANA, go ahead, and again, everyone, and they're gonna the whole panel is gonna introduce themselves and let you know who they are, who they serve, and where they can be found, and then we're gonna get started with our discussion. So go grab your notepad. All right, JUANA, go ahead. Yourself off of mute.
Okay.
You still on mute?
Hi, Miss Jacqueline. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for having me on this panel. I'm so excited to be amongst all these beautiful ladies and yourself. My name is JUANA LYLES. I am a licensed professional counselor in mental health. I am the owner of LIT Wellness Center, which stands for Live Intentionally Today. I serve individuals, male and female, that struggle with trauma. And as yourself, we sometimes get blocked with self-sabotage and doubting ourselves because of the trauma that we've faced. So I help people through different various types of trauma healing. One in specific that hopefully I'll get to talk about is brain spotting. which really is just groundbreaking in healing people with their trauma. And let's see how I serve. So yes, that's how I serve. I do mental health counseling, and I love it. I help men, women. I work with a lot of veterans, especially with combat and sexual trauma. So that's a little bit about me, and I am located in Georgia.
Hi, I guess I'm up next. I am Dr. Karen Hills Pruden. I am known as the C-Suite Career Elevation Strategist. I specifically work with female middle managers seeking senior leadership positions. I also work with entrepreneurs. And what I do is I help women influence and impact their way into increasing revenue, saving revenue, and achieving organizational goals. And you can find me on all forms of social media. I have a community called Sister Leaders. And so if you wanted to reach out to me, that's where you can find me under Sister Leaders Academy, Sister Leaders Conference, and all things Sister Leaders.
One other quick thing, ladies. Also share with us why this topic is important to you and why you feel led to share with us today.
Okay, I can add that. Well, why it's important to me is because I'm currently in the C-suite, and I specifically coach women to the C-suite, but only 3% of female professionals even make it into the C-suite. And so we want to change the trajectory of women getting stopped and stalled in middle management. And so that is why I'm passionate about C-suite leadership, senior leadership, and females.
Go ahead, Juana. You can say your part.
This topic is important to me because we as women often get overlooked. We're small, but we're powerful. And so we need to come with our voice because that's who we are. We're born leaders. My daddy always told me that I was a leader. And he said, as a Black woman, you know, people are going to mistreat you. People are going to treat you differently, but you roar because you are a lion. And so I just want other people to get away from that and know that they are a leader and it's in them and that they can shine and do the things that, well, really that God wanted them to do and be who God wanted them to be. So.
Okay, what up, though? Hey, y'all. Hey, I am Glendora DVINE. I am a licensed professional counselor. I am board certified in mental health, and I am one of the best business coaches to mental health clinicians. Yes. Listen, I am very honored that Jackie got me here on this panel with you beautiful ladies to pour into other women. And the reason that I'm really happy to be on this panel, because I am truly about us being leaders in our true passion, what we have in our heart. And so with that being said, my goal is to reach as many therapists, mental health clinicians, just like myself, and teach them how to be more visible, be more confident, and be more competent in the business of counseling, how we do the business of counseling. I really want to make sure that they understand that we are business owners. We are leaders in mental health. And that is why I'm very happy to be on this panel today. Yes.
Hi, my name is Karen Dodd, and I am known as your favorite Ruby girl. I am so honored to be on this platform with all these awesome business women and counselors. I am so humbled to be in your presence. My what I like to help is women that need to have their mindset reset. And I figure if I'm helping you, then I'm helping me also, because there's so many women that are stuck in a low mindset, and we need to rise up even higher than what we even think we can rise up. And so leadership is so important to me because who's over you determine how high you can go and how low you can stay. So as your favorite Ruby girl coming from Proverbs 31:10, who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above the price of a ruby. So ladies, we are rare, we are virtuous, and we are valuable leaders. And you can find me on all social media platforms. Just look for the Ruby Girl, and you can find me at rubygirl.net.
All right. So we have Miss Dr. Renee that has joined us. So,
Yes.
Dr. Renee, as you see, we're doing introductions, and you can go right after DIONNE, okay?
Okay.
So next up is Miss Precious. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody. Hey, it's your girl, Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious. And when I think about this topic, being the killer pitch master, the pitch queen, I think about those times that all of us have found ourselves in fear, worry, and doubt, or we felt like we had the world against us, our family, our friends against us, as we struck out and tried to start something new. I'm from the inner city of St. Louis, Missouri. There is no way that anyone ever said to me as a young girl coming from the hood that you're going to be on national television. You're going to be teaching and training women how to give birth to the next beautiful now. And you're going to show it by showing the reality of being an entrepreneur, the reality of being a speaker, and not being afraid of talking about your past, because my past does not limit my future or my present. As a woman who has dealt with homelessness, abuse, abandonment, torture, almost being murdered by my own mother, and coming out of darkness not that long ago, I stand before you knowing that I was a born leader. And the only reason I know that is because I had to go through hell to get to heaven. And I hope that people can see through cancellation with people talking about you, throwing dirt on your name. Your purpose is not tied to them. When God created you, he created you with a purpose. And I don't know about you, but he ain't need no co-signers. So as I am just coming back from filming a national television show, which I'm now hosting for entrepreneurs, I think back to when people said you couldn't write a book, you'd never be on TV, your past is so whack, you've been canceled, all these sort of things. And look at me now. It's because I believe the God in me and not what the world said about me. So I'm still a full-figure diva, plus-size fashionista, serial entrepreneur, international professional speaker, corporate trainer for the biggest tech and financial services companies in the world. And I am the killer pitch master sent here to help you slay all competition. And that's even the competition in your mind.
All right. I am Dr. Renee HUFFMAN. I am the publisher of Women of Dignity magazine, and where we believe in telling women's stories. You know, they have went through so many obstacles, so many challenges in their life, but they decided to go. They're determined to go through with faith, you know. And so it's so important before I even started Women of Dignity magazine, I have a nonprofit called Dressed in Dignity. So women that are unemployed, we help them back into the work field. We provide them clothes, shoes, accessories, and we build their confidence. And now that I am doing Women of Dignity magazine, that's the same. You know, we want the women to tell their stories, but we also want the women in the back, you know, the outcasts, the one that feel like they're voiceless, you know, that there's no chance for them. We want them to come forward. We want them to see our faces, you know what I'm saying, and say, if they can do it, then I can do it. So it's all about helping the next generation to come forth and to come forth bold. I'm so glad that we're talking about Born to Lead. I'll never forget working at a hospital as an emergency operator, and they told me, your voice is too big. And I said, you're going to need this voice one day. And they said, well, a situation arose, and they did need my big voice to go over the emergency operating system, you know. So don't pull back, be who you are, because somebody's always trying to tell us you need to be somebody else, you need to do this, or you looking at someone else. Be you, you know, what God called and designed for you to be. And that's my whole thing, is women staying in their own lane, you know, becoming what God called them to be. There's no jealousy, there's no envy, there's no competition. You know, it's just for women to go for wherever God has called them to be. But I know, being a mother in Zion, I have that heart to push women to go all the way. And that's it.
Sorry, I'm talking about it. She's sticking and my mic is muted. I'm sorry. Miss DIONNE, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, come on up or come on down.
Sorry, my system froze. I'm DIONNE Graves, a mompreneur CEO, and I'm from the beautiful island of Barbados. I am the mom.com. And so I inspire and empower women who are moms, especially in the corporate space, to passionately pursue their purpose and to fulfill their God given assignment. And how I do this is by empowering them to monetize their own gifts, knowledge, and expertise. And I'm very passionate about women in leadership because I have come through an organization for the last 7 years. And so I want to give women a voice so that they can get up and be empowered to speak and to demand and to place a demand on the world for the things that they actually deserve. We should not have to beg. And so my mission is to empower women all across the globe to stand up and to be heard, even without opening them up and saying the word. So when you show up in a room, they know who you are, they know what you do, they know your assignment, and they know that you ain't come to play, but that you came to dominate. So that's me.
Well, thank you, Miss Dionne, all the way from Barbados. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I forgot where everybody is, but I think you're the only one that's out of the United States. So thank you for joining us today. Oh, y'all look so pretty. All right. Okay. So here are the questions. And I know a couple people may not have heard them before, but I want everyone, I'm kind of trying to keep a check on the time. I want all of us to get a chance to answer, but I guess if you can kind of keep it, let's say maybe two minutes or under to make sure everybody gets a chance. So here are the questions. In reference to leadership, when would you say you began to consider yourself or to see yourself as a leader? What are some of the challenges that you feel you have faced or you have faced personally or as Black women in general face in leadership, middle management, going into leadership? Like I said, whatever you feel like you want to comment on. What would you say are some of the characteristics of a good leader? And yes, so those questions there. So again, whatever you feel, most comfortable sharing. So I guess if we can go with, and I don't know what happened to my people here at the bottom, but I guess they'll be back. So we'll do JUANA first, Dr. Karen, Glendora, Karen, Precious, and then DIONNE and Renee. Oh wait, okay, I got to bring Renee back. But go ahead, JUANA.
Okay. Well, first, as being a veteran and a child of a military veteran, I learned about leadership my whole life. I don't know what life is like without being a leader because my dad, like I said, they always taught me that I was a leader from, he was like, you are a Watford, you are a leader. Don't go out there and mess up my name, so that's how it was for my whole life. So everything I did, I learned that I needed to do it with excellence and with pride. And so as in the military, though, I learned that a leader was someone who influences others to accomplish a mission. And so even now in my private practice and everything that I do, anyone that I come in contact with, I find myself just instinctively influencing them. I hear someone talking about something and I say, you know what, you can do that. Don't, why are you doubting yourself? You can do that. And then I give them the encouraging words that they need sometimes. And sometimes that's all it is. So I think sometimes we doubt ourselves about our leadership abilities and our skills, but just one word that we say to somebody can motivate them and encourage them to be to do better. So I think that just is a leader in itself, just using your own voice and speaking up and speaking out. Another thing for challenges that I found is, yes, just being a Black woman, it was hard, especially in the military. I want to say it was really hard. I had a lot of difficulty with white male authority figures, just looking down on me, not looking at my own potential, like looking at me as equal, even though we were the same rank, the same everything, we were just equal people, but they didn't see me as an equal. So I always had to do better and do above and beyond as a woman and then just as a Black woman. So those were some of the challenges I faced. And now in therapy, just challenges with Black and brown people not wanting to go get the help that they need, having doubts about themselves, and just trying to really encourage and push people to get out of that mindset, that poverty mindset. Those are some of the challenges that I face as a leader, and just maybe funding, trying to make sure that, you know, we have the funds to do these things. So that's why I'm so excited to be up here with Precious, because she the pitch queen, you know, she got it, the killer pitch lady. So, you know, so it's exciting to be amongst all of you, because just together we can do things. And so anyway, I don't want to take up too much time.
You want me to go next? Okay. So for me, when did I realize that I was a leader? Well, very, very early, because it didn't matter what my title was. It didn't matter, you know, even as a child, I would take the lead if no one else took the lead on the playground. And so I recognized very early that I didn't need the title, that if someone needed to step up and I felt that I had the competencies to step up, or I felt that I had something to offer, then I would offer. And so for me, I've always carried myself as a leader, because I never thought that I had to have the title in order to be a leader. Now, one of the barriers that I may have reached was when I got to middle management, which is where I found my purpose. I'm a C-suite coach. I'm a C-suite executive, as well as I have my consulting business, but not many people make it there. And the reason why many people do not make it there is because some people think that you just do your time in middle management and then you naturally going to become a leader. They're naturally going to hire you as a VP. They're naturally going to hire you. And that's not the way it goes. It's a totally different skill set. When you're managing day to day. When you're a leader, you're thinking 1, 3, 5 years down the road. You're already past today. You're already past next month. And so people need to learn how to use analytics. My specialty is analytics, data analytics. I know how to forecast. I know how to predict. I know how to stay aboard my competitors. I watch my competitors' numbers. I go into different things that are sponsored by my competitor. I know what the landscape looks like. So when you're in leadership, you have to learn analytics. You also need to learn that you're reliant on everyone under you. So you're most vulnerable when you're at the top. And so how you network up, down, and throughout your workspace is dependent upon your success. And so building relationships, I have a formula that's called professional equity. How you maintain yourself in your relationships, how you use your area expertise, and how you, how do I want to say it? Relationships, expertise, and your reputation. What do people think about you when they hear your name? And so for me, that's how I decided, you know what, I need a little bit of help when I was in middle management, because I didn't know any other females in the C-suite, nobody in the C-suite. So what did I do? I sent a direct message to someone on LinkedIn, asked her to be my mentor. She was a Black female. She was a VP. All I knew was her resume on LinkedIn. And I said, yo, here's my resume. Will you be my mentor? And she said, yes, for $350 an hour. And you know what? Homegirl, middle manager Karen, who that was a lot of money then, that's a lot of money now. I took her up on that. And so for 1 hour a month for 1 year, she poured into me. She created my love for analytics. She created my love for storytelling. So now I can make presentations without quoting policy. I use storytelling and analytics. And 2 months after working with her, I was promoted to the C-suite, and I've been there for 15 years. And so that's how I discovered what my barriers were, how I reached out, and how I compensated for those gaps. But I've always felt like that I did not need a title to be a leader.
Okay, Glendora, I know you're coming up next, but I'm sorry. I got to say something. I mean, I am just blown away. First of all, like when you say analytics, I don't know, I just kind of felt something like like the hairs on my back just kind of raised up, you know. And you're right, like that looking, it's not the day-to-day. You looking 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road. And I like how you just threw it all in there. I mean, about the competition and the fact that you actually reached out, because that comes up often, that a lot of times people, they don't want to reach out. You know what I mean? It's like, and just the fact that you didn't even know that lady. You reached out to her. You reached out to her. And as another Black woman, I pat her on the back because she mentored you. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, sharing. you know, sharing with others. And I love how you said that you didn't have to have that title. You was like, you just look around and be like, yo, I'm here, you know, look like, yo, let me take advantage. Let me run this ship, so to speak. You know, and I think, and that's what made me bring this topic up, is because I think a lot of us do that. You know, we don't need the title per se. It's just in us. You know, we just got it like that. You know, so thank you so much. All right. I'm done. Okay, Miss Glendora, go ahead.
Okay. First and foremost, I am a woman that was raised by her father. So, and one of the things that my dad always told me is that you don't ask, you don't borrow, and you don't beg. If you cannot get it yourself, then you do not need it. So he said that so much that it really was ingrained in my heart, mind, and soul. And it was very uncomfortable for me to ask anybody anything. And I begging just was out of the question, and borrowing was just out of the question. So that, I believe, helped me turn into the person that I am, very independent, I just do what I say I'm going to do. And I'm very mindful and intentional about what I say I'm going to do. I had just did a live the other day, and it was about, you know, what you should be looking for in a leader or a coach. And I'm very happy that Karen said that she looked up somebody, and because she felt I needed to do something more, and I looked up somebody, I reached out to her, and she was of my culture, my race, and she charged me, and I paid her. I showed up and I paid her, and I got what I was looking for. She delivered, and it led me to go to my next level. So I really don't look at myself as a leader, even though I know I am. And I think it's just because it's humbling. It's really just, you know, I just don't want to appear like I'm better than anybody else. So I really, but I know I do a lot of leadership stuff, and I help a lot of people out. I know that from the clients that I've been serving in my counseling practice, when they go on Google and just leave a review and talk about me. And it shocks me that they even went and did it. So I know I'm changing lives and I'm helping people. I know that's leadership. I know with the coaching that I do, the coaching program, the women, they're so uplifting. I know I'm a leader to them, and I can see them changing and evolving. But the things that I wanted to go over is like when you are stepping into the role. When I did that live, and I was talking about what you should look for in a coach, you know, I was like, girl, you're finna be talking about yourself. So you got to make sure you saying this stuff and you live by that stuff. And if you haven't heard, my name is Glendora Divine. So I have to live up to being divine. Okay. Yeah, married that man. I thought about that before I did this. Okay. But I was like, I can do it. I can do it. Okay, so the first thing was experience, you know, so having experience, having that attitude, being the person like Karen just said, a good leader is somebody that can see the bigger picture, already been through some stuff. They're willing to share, you know, and I feel like, you know, to be a good leader, you have to be willing to share, not nickel and dime nobody, but share. She paid her one price and showed up and got information. Experience, expertise in the field, you know, accessibility. Are you able to reach the person? Did they show up for their appointments when they schedule those appointments? Connection. Can they connect you with other people because they make long standing relationships with people? They got good relationships so they can pour into you. And do they love to teach? They love to tell you new stuff, you know, and do they hold you accountable? You know, so that is what a good leader is. And honestly, I believe that's what I do in my heart, mind, and soul. And so in order to become that person that does that, I really believe that it was just something that I was born and raised with by being raised by my father. That's all.
Thank you, Miss Glendora. All right, Miss Karen, you're up next, and then Precious, and then DIONNE, and then Dr. Renee.
I am sitting here listening to these women, and it seems like they were born to be leaders. It was just in them from the day they were born that they started being groomed by their parents to be who they are now. Me personally, I felt like I just slipped into leadership. The leadership was on me, but I didn't know it because I would start jobs, and next thing I know, I would start like as a cashier, and they would come to me and be like, "Well, could you here's the keys to the business." I had no authority. I wasn't in a position to even have keys. And every job I would go to, they would give me like a manager's responsibility, and I just could not understand. And a lot of them was like, "You're honest, you're fair," and I seemed to be leading people that was on the job. So I was a leader that didn't even have I didn't even have a clue that I was a leader. And so when I started realizing I was one was when I was called into the ministry. And I knew then in order to fulfill my calling that I had to become a leader. And so I've had a lot of bad leadership over me in my life, but I learned from them. I looked at them and learned what not to do, how to do things better than what they did. And I know how it feel when you have somebody over you that doesn't treat you right as a leader. So me as a leader, I try to be fair. I try to be honest with people. And then you have to definitely be keen and up on your conflict resolution because people will come at you the wrong way. And you have to sit and think, like, I can come right back at them the same way, or I can just humble myself. Ask God, God, what should I say? Not what I want to say, but what should I say? So I had to rely on God to diffuse a lot of situations. So even my job I have now, if there's an issue with another department, they want me to write the email because I have a way of writing it that I can tell you off, but in such a nice way and educate you at the same time. So those are leadership qualities I didn't know I had. So like I said, I was a blind leader leading people, didn't know I was a leader. But now that I know who I am, as a Ruby girl, and that's why God had to drop that in my spirit because there's so many women out here that are leaders, that are awesome, that they have so many gifts and talents, but they don't know it. They was just like me, thinking I'm just average when they're not average. They're amazing, just like all you ladies on the panel are. And so Ruby Girl helps people to discover that leadership skill in them, discover who they really are. And Dr. Karen, I also had to get a mentor, and my mentor is on the line with us, Dr. Renee Huffman. Now, me and her, we're in the same business, but Dr. Renee took the time, she's mentoring me. There's no jealousy. There's no, you can do what I can do. You might can take the people that I have. It's like, sis, I want you to be where I'm at. Sis, I'm going to help you get there. And so I just want to say to Dr. Renee, I so appreciate you so much. And I'm honored that once again, we're rocking it together.
Oh, y'all gonna make me cry. Oh, see, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. No jealousy, helping, supporting, and holding you accountable. And I have to just jump in real quick again and say that, and that's part of this awakening the leader within. See, you were in a leadership role and you didn't even necessarily see yourself that way, but other people were seeing you as a leader. And so you might have drug your feet a little bit to, to accepting that and wearing it and walking in that. But that's a lot of us out there. You know what I mean? I'm sure that there are a lot of people listening to this right now or listen to it tomorrow, next week, in 2 months, and be like, dang, that's me. You know what I mean? So that's why I think things like this is so helpful for us to talk about it and share our experiences. And thank you again, Karen, for being here. All right, go ahead, Miss Precious.
You know, I knew I should have known from the way back that I was a born leader and that I still needed to work on some things. But the truth is, when I started my first company, Cover Girls Lingerie, people kept telling me I would never make it. I was too fat. I was 327 pounds. No man's ever going to want me. But I was dating a very famous Hollywood actor who I got with a killer pitch, right? That I couldn't create a lingerie company for plus size women because no one cares about them. And I said, you know what? I smell a challenge. So I'm about to go out here and do that, And so I didn't have a family and friends growing because none of my family and friends believed in me. I was an attorney in the great state of New York, hated it. And I had to make a decision. Am I going to go forth with this, built out of a relationship with a man that no one thought I could have? Just got out of a 7-year relationship, and I'm able to attract this. This is what I'm not. So before Lizzo, before Ashley Graham was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, there was Precious Williams, and I started Curvy Girls Lingerie, the ultimate shopping experience for full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas. So when they told me I was too fat, too black, and didn't have an Ivy League degree, okay. I have a degree from Spelman College, a degree from Rutgers School of Law, Newark, and now I teach at Harvard, Columbia, George Washington University, Spelman College, Morehouse College, Babson College. You don't really want to smoke with me. So being a leader is not easy. There will always be people who will tell you what you cannot do. And so when I went to this event I couldn't afford, and I pitched not even knowing how to impress the producers at MSNBC. Next thing I know, I'm in a Cadillac Escalade going to Rockefeller Center, and just being like, are you freaking kidding me? And in 54 seconds on the Your Business with JJ Ramberg show 10 years ago, I walked away with $500,000, but I was still too fat, too black, no Ivy League degree, right? I know I'm not white. I know I don't have a Brazilian butt lift, and I don't have six-pack abs. That does not disqualify me from being a leader. In fact, there are more women out here who honestly believe they need to look, sound, and act like someone younger, someone else. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to do that at all. I actually want you to give birth to your next beautiful now. And for me, I'm not meant to have a job. I know that. And I knew that when I couldn't keep a job longer than a year because I would walk off jobs. Yeah, I'm saying it. Never had a job last longer than a year. But that's because there was a vision that God had for me that would transcend all of that and hopefully show other women. Not all of us are meant to be entrepreneurs, but we are meant to be leaders in our own zones of genius. And so when I look back over my life, no, when I started, did I ever think I would teach at Harvard? No. Did I ever think that I would be a corporate trainer for Google, LinkedIn, Microsoft? No, because people told me that pitching was dead. And who the heck did I think I was to be able to do it? I was like, I'm Precious Williams. I make the impossible look easy. I'm from the show me state. So if you think you bad, you're gonna have to show me. So every time I get on stage, I'm ready to bust it wide open. I'm ready to show you that. That's why they call me the killer pitch master. There is not a person alive that I think can be better at me at my zone of genius. So when I wrote my first book at 40 years old, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for Women Entrepreneurs and Speakers Only, they told me no one's going to buy it. Oh, but it shot to #1. Oh yeah, right? Billboard and Times Square reviewed by Forbes magazine. But I'm still black on both sides, right? I'm a chocolate girl wonder, the chubby girl wonder, the female MacGyver of business. I can spit out bars like it's nothing. Holla at me, Drake. So you know what I'm saying? So being a leader is not easy. There were times when I ain't had no money and I had to just keep going. There were times when I just had to show up and be consistent, and persistence always beats resistance. So the people that told me no, that I would never get back on stage after I walked out of homelessness on September 1st, 2018, walked out of severe alcohol addiction 5 years ago, that, you know, I would survive my suicide attempt on my 38th birthday, and I'm at 43 seeing my 5 years past my suicide attempt. You can't tell me nothing about what God can do. You can't tell me that he didn't make me born different. And all of us have something within us that we need to share with the world. And I hope that when women or men read Born to Lead, they realize that there's something in them that's crying out for them to show and shock and awe the world. So being a leader, it ain't easy, but it sure is fun, especially when you're not proving to other people that they're wrong. You're proving to the God in you that he was always right about what your purpose is. So I hope that as y'all listen today, I'm 43 years old. I feel like I'm a whole snack. Come fetch me. That's I'm trying to tell you. And being on this television show with the millionaires, billionaires, just these investors from all over the world. When I pitched, they were like, we just introducing ourselves. They were like, we need to work with you. I'm like, but I knew that because pitching ain't dead. And being born to lead, you can still learn leadership tactics, tips, and techniques. And so I encourage you all to get this book on Juneteenth, because you're about to read some stories you ain't never heard before. And so thank you all. Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO, Perfect Pitches by Precious. Let me show you how to be booked, busy, and paid. And let me show you how to give birth to your next beautiful now. Ow.
I love it. And also, she is the forward author of Born to Lead, Awakening the Leader Within. So everybody look out for that, all right? Because you got to grab it as soon as we start pre-sales. You got to grab your copy. All right, thank you so much, Miss DIONNE.
Yes, I was born to lead because I was born ready. So I remember my birth story being told to me. Obviously, I don't remember it because I was there, but I remember from my mother telling me that she went to the hospital and the nurses said to her, that baby ain't ready yet. And she knew she was ready to give birth, and they were not paying her any attention. They said, you know what, we're going to put you to a side. That baby ain't ready yet. You know, got time to go, because it was the 18th of October and the baby was actually due on the 25th. And so this baby decided that she wanted to show up in the world on the 18th. And so it was. So by the time the nurse got back to the nurse's station, a lady in front of my mother was screaming at the top of her lungs, "Nurse, this woman baby come in." So literally I was on the, they were on the, my mother was on the maternity ward, and they had not even taken her over to the labor ward as yet. And I was out. My head was out. My eyes were open. I was looking at my mother in her face, one head of curly hair, two dark eyes, a chubby face, and I was out. And the doctors and the nurses, it was a whole chaotic situation because this baby should not have been born here. So I was always the child who was not supposed to, but ended up doing it. I was always the one who was ridiculed. I was always humiliated. People would always pick at me. I remember going through my childhood, my early childhood years, going through elementary school and being bullied severely. I remember at one point somebody pushed me down and a piece of steel went through my kneecap and everything. I mean, people just did the most. And I could not understand this thing. And my grandmother said to me, I don't know why people hate you. But there came a point in my life where it became abundantly clear because people saw something in me that I was oblivious to. So just like Ruby Girl, I was born to lead, but I didn't recognize the leader that I was. So I was living my life in the shadows. I was huddling in the background, trying not to be seen. And at every opportunity that God had, he was pushing me to the fore. So I would always excel in studies. I would always excel at whatever I put my hand to do. I always came out on top. And it created a lot of jealousy around me. Even to this day, to be quite honest, I still have people who are jealous of me, but it does not matter because the difference between now and then is that back then it could not be me. I didn't understand the power of my authenticity, but now when I show up, it doesn't matter where I show up. It doesn't matter who's in the room. As long as I'm there, I am the one. And so I knew after I came to the recognition that I was born to lead, I just embraced the power of my purpose. And let me tell you something, when I did that, it really changed the trajectory of my life because I love being who I am. So it allowed me to stand up for myself in the workplace. And this is where I would have had some of my biggest battles because just like Precious, I never could have kept a job for more than 1 year. Sometimes 2 weeks would be the maximum, right? I stayed in jobs where I felt like I didn't fit because it needed to be done and you wanted to get that money and stuff like that. I stayed in jobs where it was not being valued and appreciated longer than I should. And for me, longer would have been like 3 months. But when it came to the point now in my career today where I'm at 7 years down the road, it is simply because God said to me, this is your assignment and you can't leave yet. But God knows that I'm ready to clock out because I've had to fight too hard for something as small as maternity leave. So when my son was born, they said to me I was not entitled to maternity leave because I didn't birth him naturally. And I said to them, this is what you're going to do, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going home with my son. And so I went home to be with my son. And then they had a big meeting with the teams in Miami. And they came to the decision, well, we're going to give her the maternity leave with pay. And when I returned to work, I was offered a promotion. From then, it was promotion after promotion after promotion because I was able to stand up for what I deserve. And that was just one thing. And in doing that, it changed the entire policy around paternity and maternity leave in the company. So even the men have reaped benefits from me being able to stand up and say to them, I deserve to be given maternity leave. I should not have to ask for this because I am a mom. It doesn't matter how I became a mom, but it is my right. So whether or not you are giving it to me, I'm taking it because the job is yours, but the time is mine. So just as you could find somebody else to do your job, I could find something else to do with my time. And so I've taken that approach within my organization right now. And because I refuse to be devalued, I refuse to be in a position where you're shifting me from one role to another without adequately paying me. So there are a lot of things that I've stopped doing because I know that I deserve more. So during the pandemic, I would have gotten 2 promotions in addition to the one I got in 2018. And I turned them down because I'm not taking on additional responsibility for less than what I deserve. And get where I'm coming from. It is not because I think I need to have the whole bag, but I understand what I'm bringing to the table. And when you understand what you're bringing to the table, you show up different. And this has helped me in my unique ability to serve. When it came into the online space, people said to me, you can't speak so Bajan, your videos are getting so many views, and to have the international appeal, you may have to change your accent. And I said to them, no, I am from Barbados, and people will get used to my accent. They'll deal with it, but this is me, and I'm confident showing up as me. So for me, being a leader requires having the ability to serve. And for me, serving represents supporting, enriching, respecting, valuing, and empower others. And once you do that, let me tell you something. There are doors that are going to open for you without you having to even push them. I've been in the online space a lot shorter than most people, even on this call, but I've been punching well above my weight. And to be quite honest with you, when I was not offered a seat, I built my own table. There were people that I went to for opportunities and to shut the door in my face, but it never stopped me, because once you recognize that you are born to lead, you are unstoppable. So when I show up as DIONNE Graves, the mompreneur CEO, that is me. 100% of the time. It does not matter who shows up alongside me. We could collaborate. If you want to compete, you stay in that lane, but I over here. And let me tell you something, I'm going to do great things. So I encourage everybody, even on this call, all the persons who will listen to this, don't be afraid to show up as who you are. Be you authentically, be you boldly, be you fiercely, be you radically, and lead the life that you're called to live, because within each and every one of us, we have a unique sphere of genius, and you are meant to dominate it. So that's my piece. I'm DIONNE Graves, the Mompreneur CEO. You can find me on Facebook as the Mompreneur CEO or at DIONNEGraves.com.
All right, I'm up next. They call me the female Moses. I was born to a woman of a mental illness, and I was born to a father on paper retarded, that he was mentally retarded. And these are the parents that I was born to. I was born into obstacles and challenges. And, I had to stand up for my mom. I always had to, at an early age, always be her advocate, for mental health. We're talking about mental health, but I have been going through mental health for 40 years, with my mom. And I thank God that God has, protected her, and that she is in her right mind right now. And she prophesying right now. So I tell the Lord, thank you for that. But I've had a lot of challenges, being misunderstood, having a mother, I'm saying, okay, my mom got to come to the school. She's not in her right mind. I'm saying? So you have to process all of that as a child. But I was called to be a leader, to make sure that she was okay. And so I ended up getting married in 2000. It's been 22 years this year. And we headed to Jacksonville, Florida. I received my salvation, and I became a mute. I began to just work in corporate America, always in leadership, supervisor. Someone's always waiting waiting for me to help them. And just being a mute, didn't have a voice. And I was like, my God, what am I going to do? I know there's something on the inside for me to do that's greater. And I was called in 2019 by a prophet, and they said, do not go back to Egypt. Do not go back to corporate America. And from that moment in 2019, I came off of mute. I was no longer mute. I began to speak up for myself and began to start my first clothing line, Miss Dignity, Style and Grace. Everyone needs dignity. You need to know that there's a certain way that you present yourself. It's a certain way that you come forth. You can't just come forth any kind of way. So I challenge women, and how they look, to dress it up, come forth and be all that God has called you to be, has chosen you to be. And I'm just so excited. I'm excited right now because I didn't know that I was a mother in Zion. I was a mother to women, you know, to push them to say, no, you can speak up. You can do what you have been called and chosen to do, but there's a way to do it. You know, I'm very professional. So helping women, you know, with their bios, you know what I'm saying? Making sure your bio is up to date, you know, so it's so much that we have to do as leaders, and being visionaries. It's so important for us to always kind of like stand back and allow our team to do the work. You know, leaders, they have a challenge in that, you know, they want their hands on everything, but you have to allow people to help you so that your vision can go up higher, you know. And I'm just, it seems like I'm just starting, you know, 2019 is, you know, it's only been about 3 years, you know, me being a full-time entrepreneur, and it's not easy at all. But I am the type of person that if you give me a challenge, I'm going to go all the way. I will never pull back. You know, they always laugh at me because I said I'm a scratch, I'm a fight, I'm a go all the way. I got to do whatever I need to do to make sure I get to the next point. And, you know, just encouraging women, uplifting them, motivating them to be all that God had called them to be. So being a leader, I was born to be a leader, but I've had many challenges, but I'm just scratching the surface. Ha! I'm just scratching the surface. And I may have ups and downs and maybe don't do everything perfect, but I'm willing to go all the way because I was chosen for the task.
Y'all, this has been so powerful. Are y'all feeling me? Are y'all feeling this? This has been so powerful. Wow. Okay, I gotta keep a check on time. Woo, this has been so powerful, y'all. I'm just taking it all in. Taking it all in. Wow. Thank you all for joining up here today and sharing your experiences, uplifting, encouraging those out there, those women out there that you could be, I don't know, a seasoned entrepreneur, but like Dr. Renee said, we all have our ups and downs. We all need encouragement. I can't tell you how many times I felt like throwing in the towel. You know what I mean? You know, but it's okay to fall down. It's okay to get discouraged at, you know, at this time or that time. But the thing of it is, you got to get back up. You know what I mean? You got to get back up. And it helps to hear from other individuals, other like-minded individuals. We are all women out there. Some of us work, you know, full-time and then do our business, or, you know, do both. Some of us are full-time entrepreneurs, but we just want you to know that leadership is within you. Okay. And if you don't be afraid to ask for help, if you need some help, or, you know, you need someone to mentor you, go out there and get it. Go out there and get it. But whatever you do, don't give up. Don't stop. Your vision, your mission is greater than you. There are others that are waiting to take part in what you have to offer, or to be able to learn from your experiences. So we're going to close out. I am your host, Jacqueline Kaba-Harrison. You have joined us today for a Queen's Roundtable Leadership Symposium. And the specific topic is Born to Lead, Awakening the Leader Within. And that is the collaborative book project that is going to be released next month, June 19th, for Juneteenth. And it's specifically dedicated to African-American women and our innate leadership abilities. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, you can follow, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the time. You can follow me on Facebook at Realizing Your Potential 123, as well as on LinkedIn under Jacqueline Kaba-Harrison, or you can go to my website, which is Realizing Your Potential, the numbers 123.com. That way you can stay up to date with everything that I have going on. All right, so thanks again, ladies and everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon, and thank you for those of us that took the time to join us live, as well as those of you that are going to catch us on the replay. All right, so take care, and I'll talk to everyone again soon.